Hi everyone, and welcome to Lazy Lion. It recently came to our attention that the series Nana was being streamed over on High Dive, which had us feeling a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Because as any of you who have read the manga will know, this series is chock full of amazing characters and cool fashion that is a feast for the eyes. But is also a roller coaster when it comes to emotions. Like Dementors from Harry Potter kind of level, it'll suck out your soul and leave you a dry husk. It's also unfortunately incomplete, which is something we try to avoid here on this channel. So that was a bummer. But then we remembered another series by the same author, which we also thoroughly enjoyed back in the day, and just so happened to check all the same boxes. It's got great characters, a great story, a great art style, and great fashion. It's also conveniently complete. And with it coming in at only 12 episodes, it's a far easier and quicker series to get through and enjoy. The anime series we're talking about is of course ParaKiss. Now in this video, we'll be covering the plot and creative process of ParaKiss, as well as the representation of queer characters in anime. So if that's something that would interest you, stick around. And like always, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's get this show started. Cue the intro. This fabulous coming-of-age story introduces us to the beautiful but somewhat straight-laced high school senior Yukari Hayasaka. To make her parents happy, Yukari has one goal, and that is to be accepted into a good college. It doesn't matter which one per se, as long as her parents don't lose face by having a slacker for her daughter. Now with the way things are going, it's likely that she'll achieve her goal. But then what? What happens after she gets accepted? You see, Yukari is just realizing that she's never really put much thought into what it is she wants to do or be. Which career path should she follow? What are her interests? This will be her life after all, and she has no idea what she wants. Cue the fork in the road. One day, on her way to cram school, Yukari gets approached by some weirdo who asks her if she wants to be his model. Now, as any girl will probably attest to, this situation is most likely 10% flattering and 90% creepy. And the consensus will most often be to run away as quickly as possible, which is what Yukari first attempts to do. That is, until she runs headfirst into the weirdo's companion, whom she comically mistakes for a Shinigami, causing her to faint dead on the spot. Once she wakes up a while later, she's met by what she can only assume to be a pink-haired angel. That is, until she spies the weirdos from before hiding behind her. Scratch being in heaven, this must be hell. But looking around, it looks more like a converted bar/fashion studio. This is when she finds out that they're all just a bunch of harmless fashion students from the famous Yazawa School of Design, and that they need someone to model their design in an upcoming school fashion show. Well, these, what Yukari prejudiciously assumes to be delinquents, might have the time to fool around, but she doesn't. She has much more important things to deal with, and she tells them so. Which of course doesn't go over well with the fashion students. They might not have chosen to follow a conventional career path, but that doesn't mean these design students are playing around. No, fashion to them is no joke. This is their beloved craft, and they take it very seriously. So if she can't respect that, she's more than free to leave. Taking her cue, Yukari hurriedly skedaddles away, only to later realize she's missing her precious student ID, and that the most likely place for it to be is back at the ParaKiss studio. But can she really bring herself to go back there? Just as she's debating what to do, the lead designer of ParaKiss shows up at her school. With the promise of having her ID returned to her, she agrees to go back to the studio and hear him out. There, she gets a closer look at the clothes they've all so lovingly worked together to create over at ParaKiss. So now, feeling slightly ashamed that she took their work and passion so lightly, and despite her ego taking a bit of a hit, she just can't help but be drawn to them and their world. And so, akin to Alice in Wonderland, Yukari decides to take the leap and fall down the rabbit hole. where she's sucked into this colorful and exciting world she never even knew existed. And there, she'll come to meet this fantastically eccentric group of people who will forever change her life. For the first time, she sees that things don't have to be just one way, and that there are so many possibilities out there if one is just brave enough to look. The anime series ParaKiss was released in 2005 by Studio Madhouse, a studio that has been behind some of our favorite anime series to have been covered on this channel, such as Tokyo Godfathers, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, Metropolis, and finally, Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. Actually, could we pause on that last one for a minute? Did you know that Beck and ParaKiss not only share the same studio, but also the same director? No, it's true. Pretty much as soon as Beck's production was finished, Osamu Kobayashi moved on to work on the ParaKiss series, which was a great move in our opinion. Because one of the reasons we're so happy about Kobayashi being chosen as the director of ParaKiss is that you can see that Kobayashi tried his best to do the series justice. Not only did he work closely with the original author of the manga series, Ai Yazawa, but he was also adamant about keeping the characters true to their original selves, and not change things that were a core factor of their identities. Things such as their sexual orientations, for example. This was something that could have been seen as controversial at the time, and something that even the manga author worried about in regards to the anime. But despite the risk of alienating some viewers, Kobayashi felt that it was important to present this unique cast of characters as they were, and not hide or gloss over aspects about them that were a fundamental part of their character. This gave the series a more mature feel to it, but it also made it more human and realistic. This is something that we'll go over further in our themes portion, but for now, we just wanted to convey our appreciation for Kobayashi's gumption onto this point. Another name attached to the series that might sound familiar is Nobuteru Yuki. You know, the same character designer who gave us those incredibly long noses in the Vision of Escaflowne? Well, he also worked as the character designer and chief animation director over on ParaKiss, where he took Yazawa's edgy and more proportionately realistic characters and infused them with a tiny hint of Lupin III's flair and sophistication just for the screen. And because the series is so well known for showcasing impeccable fashion, Kobayashi also brought on Atsuro Tayama, a famous fashion creator, to help adapt the characters and their styles for the anime. Though it didn't take them long to both realize that there was really no need to, since most of Ai Yazawa's original designs from the manga were already better than good. I mean, not that this was too surprising, since after all, the manga was published in the trendy Japanese fashion magazine known as Zipper. In addition to that, Yazawa did attend a fashion school in her youth, and though she dropped out, it's clear to see that her love of fashion never left her. Something we can clearly see in all her other mangas as well. So from there, Tayama stayed on merely as a fashion consultant and helped the animators to better understand how the fabrics and materials should be portrayed. Add on to that the super catchy and funky opening and ending tracks, and this is one entertaining series not to be missed. Did you ever grow up watching an anime that you love, and then years later rewatch it, but this time in its original Japanese version, only to come to realize that thanks to Western censorship, you'd been robbed of some very key information and plot points growing up? Sometimes it was rearranged or missing episodes. Sometimes it would be whole seasons that had just magically disappeared. But the worst offense, in my opinion, which was again due to censorship, was that sometimes even old, familiar characters now seemed like strangers. Madison? Toya? Julian? Is that you? Sailor Neptune? Sailor Uranus? Wait, you're not cousins? Why were we lied to? Why did our anime get the classified treatment? Wait, you're telling me it was because they thought that young minds being exposed to queer characters would corrupt and somehow turn them gay? Yeah. Not sure that's how that works. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's not. And by doing that, what they really did was rob us of our opportunity to empathize with and even accept one another for who we really are. Now, this doesn't fully let Japan off the hook either though. Even though they originally did portray queer characters, there were many times that these characters were solely included in anime or manga as a gimmick, or simply reduced to nothing more than deviant villains. But that's a conversation for another time. This is why we were really glad that Kobayashi fought so hard for the cast of ParaKiss though. Right off the bat, we have two of our main cast of characters being openly portrayed as queer. We have George, our male lead, who is unapologetically bisexual, and Isabella, who presents herself as a trans woman. Is it 100% perfect? No. But considering it came out over 15 years ago, it comes pretty darn close. And the best part about it is that these characters are presented like everyday people, just like anyone else, which really made these depictions stand out. In a world that still has so much bigotry towards the queer community, these characters were normalized and even celebrated, which was something that was very rare to see back in the day, and probably meant a lot to a lot of people. Thankfully, nowadays, we're seeing more and more anime veering into this realm. Perhaps as a sign or to mirror our own society's growing open-mindedness. In any case, one can only hope that eventually a day will come when it's normalized in real life as well, and not just on screen. And whether you're a member of the queer community or an ally, one way to continue normalizing it is to support anime and other media that does it well. In our opinion, ParaKiss is one such anime, and could be a great series to check out regardless. The series is a sequel of sorts to Yazawa's other manga, Neighborhood Story, having multiple cameos of characters from that series appear in ParaKiss, which can be fun, though ParaKiss does work on its own as a standalone story. And though short and bittersweet and a little bit mature, it gets major points for portraying realistic-like relationships and characters. It's also a smorgasbord of visual treats when it comes to the fashion in the series, something we'll explore further over on our blog if you're curious. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button to let us know. And you can also hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Stay obsessed.